I think that's probably enough to move on to my next point. High carbohydrate intake will promote weight gain. In order to understand that, we need to understand what happens once we've eaten. So on the next page. We'll come back to this in a second. Oh, that's not me. Okay, this line represents time. This is when you wake up in the morning. This is when you go to bed in the evening. And this line also now represents our blood sugar level. So when we wake up first thing in the morning, whereabouts is our blood sugar level going to be? Anyone like to hazard a guess? Low. It's going to be down here somewhere. We'll draw another line down here. We don't want to be down here. We'll draw another line up here. We definitely don't want to be up there. Okay, so somewhere here is what I call our fat loss zone. This is where we want to be all day long. Now, what we eat will determine where we are on this chart. Now, if we eat a meal that is just too much, or if we eat a meal that is too high in carbohydrates or sugar, then what we're going to get is a massive rise in blood sugar. The more refined the food is, so the quicker it will break down, so basic things that you buy in packets and tins and processed foods, the faster the rise of blood sugar is going to be. Now, the body is all about balance. It has to remain in balance, and it's regulated to an extent by hormones. There's a hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. Does anyone know what that is? No? No? Insulin. That's all right. Don't be afraid to shout it out. There are no stupid questions, just stupid people. I'm only joking. We're all friends here. Insulin is a hormone responsible for regulating the blood sugar. So what's going to happen? You're going to spike your blood sugar if you eat a food that's too high in carbohydrates, not balanced, or generally just too much. What happens here? We've got all this sugar. It needs to go somewhere. It can't remain where it is because we're out of balance. So what does insulin do? It's a storage hormone. So it's going to take this sugar, and it's going to take it away, and it's going to store it up inside your body. Now, there are 3 places that you will store sugar. Do you know where they are? This is important to understand when it comes to understanding fat loss. No? All right. The first place you're going to replenish after you've eaten is your liver. You store sugar in the liver, and this is primarily responsible for feeding your brain with sugar. This is why if you go on a low-carb diet or an Atkins-style diet, after a period of time, your brain will get all kind of fuzzy, and you can get like kind of those low-carb headaches and so forth. If anyone's ever tried that, you probably know what I'm talking about. How much sugar can we store here? A very, very small amount. About the same amount as a small chocolate bar. That's about it. It has a limited capacity for storage. Once that has reached its limit, it overflows into the next storage area in the body. Now, what's that? Muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is hugely impacted when it comes to losing fat. How many people with a weight loss goal in the past have reduced the amount of food coming in, joined the gym, and used the cross trainer or a treadmill religiously for a period of time to drop weight? Yeah. What you're doing is you're neglecting one of the major factors of fat loss, your muscle. This not only is a massive warehouse to store sugar when you eat it, it's also metabolically active tissue, which basically means it requires fuel to run. It burns calories, like an engine that your body has. So if you're currently just doing cardiovascular exercise without lifting any weights whatsoever, and your goal might not be to increase muscle, it doesn't matter what it is, if you're not lifting weights progressively, which I'll cover in the next few slides, and on a regular basis, and changing it at the right times to challenge your body on an ongoing basis, you're missing a trick when it comes to burning fat and getting toned up. This has a limited capacity for storage. Obviously, the more you have, the more sugar you can store. And by more, I don't mean being Mr. or Miss Universe. You don't have to be massively bulky. You just need to take care of the muscle that you have, because remember, tone is just seeing muscle under the skin. So we need to make sure that the muscle we have is working functionally optimally, storing sugar the way it should be, and burning calories the way that it should be as well. Once this is full, where else can we store the sugars? One other place. You're probably thinking it right now. No? Shall I tell you? Fat. Your fat cells have the capacity to store sugar. This you probably be unpleased or unhappy to find out, that has an unlimited capacity for storage. You can store, fat cells can swell 1,000 times their normal size. Once they've swollen to a certain level, this is the scary bit, they can divide into 2. You'll never lose a cell. So once they've divided, you've got an extra one. Yeah? They can just get bigger and smaller. You can never lose one. So this is what we don't want. What is it? I was talking to Simon about it earlier. Is it Newton's second law of physics? What goes up? Got to come down? I don't really know, but basically, is it the third?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Matt. I remember that from my 1:30 seminar. It's the third law of physics. What goes up must come down. So we're going to get a crash equal to the spike. What's going to happen here?
Read it again.
Tired, cravings. Has anyone ever tried to resist a craving? How long did it last for? You're never going to win. You're never ever going to win. I tell people never ever resist cravings. That's not to say you should go binge eating every time you get one, but understanding why you get them and how to control them is the key. So you're going to get a craving. What are you going to be craving here? You're going to need something to pick you back up. So you're going to be reaching for your Tupperware that you brought to work with your broccoli and your tuna in it. No. You're going to be queuing up at the Starbucks to get yourself a coffee, probably a latte or a cappuccino that has milk, lactose, sugar in it, with coffee, caffeine, to pick you back up again, right? Or some kind of sugary treat, or some kind of pastry. Yeah? You're going to need something that your body recognizes as an instant pickup, because you're down here, you don't want to be, you're out of balance, you have to get back up. And tuna and broccoli, you're not going to cut it, because that's going to take you up like this. You've got to get back up here. So your body will then tell you that you need this pickup, so you're going to get your morning coffee. You're going to get another spike. What's going to happen? Insulin's going to come back, we're going to repeat the scenario, but something different will happen this time, because we've, not so long ago, replenished our liver. We've also replenished our muscle, and the chances are we haven't had a vigorous workout here yet, because it's about 9 AM. So where's this going to go? Fat, yeah. So we can get another crash, another spike. This can go on all day long. And then at the end of the day, as tired as you are from this roller coaster of sugar, you decide that you've got to lose some weight, so you hit the gym. Then at the end of the week, you step on the scales and wonder why you haven't lost any weight. Because the odds have been stacked massively in your favor all day, every single day, with your odd workout. And most people don't even train every day. 2 to 3 times a week is the average, but if you get your diet right, that's all it takes for about half an hour. Because 80% of your weight loss and your fat loss, more specifically, is what you put in your mouth on a regular basis, if we stay in this zone right here. Does that make sense for everyone? What are these foods that are going to spike here? Quick question. Who's been listening? Predominantly sugars. Let's go back to our other table. Not that one. What do we most of us eat for breakfast? And most of them are here. Yeah? Sugars. Yeah? Absolutely. So the key is getting balance. I'm not going to go through a complete meal plan in my seminar, but we do offer consultations that you can come and speak about afterwards. But I just wanted to give you an overview of what is actually happening, because a lot of people get frustrated when they think they're doing everything right and find out that they're not. And then the last point on there, fat, crucial for optimum health. If we take less fat into the body, basically on a very brief point, our body will be more reluctant to give it up as an energy source. So we have to take in the right amount of fat. But again, we can cover those in questions at the end. Blood sugar, we've talked about that previously on that last slide. Controlling insulin, obviously, is the most important factor. Does everyone understand insulin? That for me, is the take-home point. Insulin, really, 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 really important for getting that spike. When there's insulin in the system, our body's internal ability to burn fat is down there. If we can control insulin, we can go all day long in this fat-burning zone. We can burn fat by going for a walk in the morning before breakfast. We don't even need to use the gym, but don't quit your membership. Because it's fun. All right, fat loss exercise. Everybody uses the gym, right? We touched on it briefly before. Cardio, generally, there's 2 types of exercise, cardio, resistance training. Does everybody do both? I do both. I lift weights. As I do cardio, I lift weights faster. Works very well. But we do need to do both in order to get the optimal results as far as health goes. What's cardiovascular benefit for? Heart and lung, circulatory system, weight training, function, strength. Simon touched on it yesterday in the back care seminar, making sure that the muscles are pulling on the joints optimally to create better posture. And then everything goes hand in hand to create optimum wellness. Which one is better for losing fat? If you had to pick one, which one would you do? Weights, is that because I just mentioned it before on the last one? But some of you put your hand up when I said, did you join the gym, do cardio for 2 weeks and cut your calorie intake down? Why is this happening? Let's look at this imaginary timeline again. This is the morning, this is the evening. This timeline works well to illustrate all my points. This is your metabolism this time. Does everyone understand what the word metabolism is? It's the rate at which you burn calories.